We are here with Kyra Stefanuk, who is the co-owner of the Prairie Sister Productions. Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Awesome. Let's talk a little bit about the fact that you live here. This is where you're from. And you found a niche in a way, right? You wrote a book, obviously. We're going to talk about that. But what got you to doing this? And tell us a little bit about Prairie Sister Productions.
So we decided to build this book. It was kind of a spur-of-the-moment decision. And it's something that we wanted to do together.
Yeah.
And our thinking was we're Lloydminster locals, and we were kind of just tired of people saying there's nothing to do here, and it's so boring, and it's so flat, and you fall asleep when you're driving. Yeah. And that's not how it is to us, right? So we just wanted to share that and be able to showcase our passion in that way.
And I'm glad you said that, because the first time I met you was just when I arrived here in Lloyd, and I remember you talking about the different places. I was like, what do you do here? Is there a lot of stuff to do here? And I remember you said, oh, is there? There's so much more. And the love of the land and the love of history, I think, is what we talked about, and how you communicate that through your book. Tell us a little bit about that, and what, obviously we know what got you to start, you and your sister, but what is it about this place that keeps you here and gets you to explore a lot of what Lloyd has and other parts of near town?
Well, I think that there is always something to do. You just have to look for it. And we kind of talk about like making our own fun. Yeah. And it just is a lot about your perspective. Okay. And that's what we kind of wanted to share with people, was just finding joy where you're at. Yeah. Because in traveling to other places, I have found that no one's happy with what they have. You go to California and you think, oh, it's so beautiful. And they're complaining because it's a heat wave. Yeah. Right, so just taking that time to just sit down, whether we were from Lloydminster or somewhere else, and just taking the time to, what is beautiful around here and what can we enjoy? Yeah,
it's so interesting because the grass is always greener on the other side, right? You always look at people and be like, oh, they have everything and they're doing more, but there's so much to do here. Even for myself, I find there's a lot of places that you can go to, Sandy Beach and other places that I enjoy. And I've seen you guys do a lot of videos on those as well, in terms of really being out there in social media and talking about that. Tell us a little bit about that kind of stuff and why you're doing a lot more than just the book, of course.
Yeah, it started out as the book. Yeah. And we had created Prairie Sister Productions just to create the book together. Yeah. And then we found that people were really interested in what we had to say and really interested in what we were doing, which led to us starting a blog and just really upping our game on social media. And we've really listened to what people want to see from us. Yeah. Just so we can kind of provide that as well. It's been really fun.
It has, and I noticed on your website you have stuff called the Rambo Project 60-mile series, all of these things that you have on there. Is that anything to do with the book, or is that just extra stuff that we need to know about?
So the Rambo Project is kind of what we're calling the first thing that we did. So the book, and then we also have an exhibit that's currently at the Vermilion Public Library, and we'll be traveling to southern Saskatchewan next year. And that kind of all is together. And then this summer we put together the 60-mile series. So it's a 60-mile radius around Lloydminster of just kind of small, like afternoon jaunts. A lot of my friends have kids and they can't be traipsing off to Edmonton every weekend, but just a quick tank of gas and you can go explore 60 miles around Lloyd.
Wow. Now I know we'll talk about the book a little bit more as well. Where can they find this book? What's in it? And how excited are you about it?
Very excited about it.
That's awesome.
Currently it's available through our website. Okay. It's also available at the Lloydminster Cultural and Science Centre, the Western Development Museum, just some other gift shops kind of around. And I forgot some of the questions.
What's in it? What can we find in this book?
So in this book is my sister Della's photography, who is the other half of Prairie Sister Productions, and then my poetry. Yeah. And it was really frightening to share that artistic field with the world. Yeah. I think poetry is very personal, photography can be very personal, but it's all about the prairies. Yeah. There are no people in our book other than a couple people who kind of snuck into, but that's not really the focus. The focus is the land.
Is the land, and I think you bring it in such a poetic way, and I love the fact that you really express the areas here for people that might not know. Even if you live here, you don't know that kind of stuff. So that's awesome that this book, people can get this book, obviously. How much is it? Is it like expensive, or is it like
cheap?
It
retails at $49.50.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, well, we were originally going to do an ebook, and then we ended up doing a hardcover full like full color project.
Awesome,
So
awesome. Again, what's your website?
prairiesisterproductions.ca.
Beautiful. Thank you, Kyra, for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Awesome, awesome.